Hello everyone, welcome back. So, how do you feel today? I just ate, so I think my practice is going to feel a little different. Do you like practicing on a full stomach, or do you like practicing on an empty stomach? Do you notice that it makes a difference in your practice? It probably does. So again, once again, I mentioned this a million times. Every time you come to your mat for a practice, you are going to feel different. Whether it's you ate, you just ate, you're going to eat, how you slept, how much stress you're carrying. There are so many factors that are going to change your mood, going to change how your body reacts to movement. So allow yourself just to do what you can on the mat. If it's a good day, go. If it's not such a good day, do less, but still do something. Yeah? Okay, so for today's practice, I got my stuff here ready in case I want to use it for one of my modifications. If you have things that you know that you're going to use, then have them. Otherwise, get comfy. What is going to be your starting pose? Are you going to go in a traditional Shavasana? Are you going to come to a sit position? Do you want to sit on a particular item, a block, a book, bolster? What is going to be most comfortable for you at this moment? We always want to take a few minutes at the beginning of our practice just to kind of gather ourselves and get our mind here so that we're present for the time that we are on the mat. There are so many distractions going on outside. Everybody's got something going on. But when you are distracted on your mat, your body is going to react differently. So if you can push aside those distractions, you might notice that you might benefit a little bit more because you are more aware of how your body is moving in space. You might find that if you really pay attention to your movement, it might feel a little better. You might feel like you're getting a little bit deeper into a particular pose, and these things might make you feel better. And that's what we're all about. We want our practice to make us feel better. Yes? Of course we do. So as you are relaxing and settling in, just notice what you notice. And as you're breathing, notice if that heavy exhale might help you let go of something. It might help you smoothen out your breath a little bit, which is what we're kind of looking for. We are looking for something that flows naturally without too much effort. We might have to exert a little bit of effort here and there, but we don't want to go so past our limit at this moment that we're exhausted after our practice. We want to feel refreshed. We want to feel ready to go and take on any of our activities. So as you let go of those tensions and stresses, allow your body to just give you what it's ready to give you right now. Take one more deep inhale. let it go in your exhale. If you are in an upright position, make your way down to your back. And draw the right knee in towards your chest. And if you're comfortable, extend the left leg long. Have some engagement in that left leg. So dig the left heel into the floor. And as you exhale, draw your right knee dig the left heel into the floor. And with your exhale, draw your right knee a little bit tighter in towards your chest. You decide how tight you want to draw that knee in. Keep the shoulders soft here. And if you want a little bit more engagement, with your next exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Take a full cycle of breath here and notice how it feels with your knee tucked in. Finish that cycle of breath, release the head and shoulders, and release the right foot to the floor. Draw the left knee into your chest, and if it's comfortable for you, extend the right leg long. Dig the heel into the floor, and with your exhale, left knee into the chest. And that right long leg, just notice maybe if the toes are flaring in, out, or are the toes facing up towards the ceiling? And if you'd like to go one step further with your next exhale, lift the head and shoulders and see if you can look down towards your toes. And again, you can ease up on that left knee if you'd like, but keep the shoulders soft here. Don't pull so tightly in that you're creating tension. It's a gentle little tuck. Release the head and shoulders, both knees into the chest, and take your movement. Whatever wiggle jiggle is going to help you release. And you might know that swaying side to side works best for you, a little bit of movement. That always seems to work nicely for me. And I'm going to take this a little bit further. I'm going to take this into a twist. So I'm going to relax my hands down by my side. Doesn't really matter where. Just try to keep them below shoulder height. We don't want to exert so much energy in the shoulders there. Doesn't really matter what position your hands are, something that's comfortable for you. And then with your next exhale, drop your knees down to the left. And see, can you get them all the way down to the floor? Would a prop be better for you? Maybe your left hand gently here on the right thigh might work. Just gently feel the expansion on the right side of your body. And if you want a little bit extra, take your gaze in the opposite direction of where your knees are going. If that's too much on the neck, then just bring the gaze back up to the ceiling. So gentle twist here. And with your next inhale, knees come back up towards the ceiling. Take a breath or two here just to straighten out the spine. And then with your exhale, knees drop down to the opposite side. I'm going to the right now. And just notice the different sensation from left to right. I definitely feel a different sensation with my knees going to the right. My left hip is tighter. You might notice that a slight variation in your foot position is going to help you find what works best for you to get this openness on the left side of your body. With your next inhale, knees come With your next exhale, knees come up to the sky, and take any little movements that you need here. After a twist, we always want to straighten out the spine, just to give it that 2-second breather before we carry on. And then decide, how are you going to get into your tabletop? Are you going to use your little rock and roll? Are you going to come halfway up? Which one is going to work best for you? Maybe you're not quite in the right position and you have to reposition your body on your mat. And once you get into tabletop, find that hand position that's going to work good for you. Maybe the angle of your hand has to change slightly. Remember, we want those wrists to be happy. And then when you're ready, inhale to open up the collarbone. And when you exhale, that's when you lift the hips up and back. And once you find your downward dog, you might need to readjust where your hands are. You might need to readjust where your feet are. Find what's going to work best for you. We're going to work our hip a little bit here. So with your inhale, lift that left leg up towards the sky. Now see if you can drop the right heel down to the floor. And if you can't, reposition that right foot so that it's flat. It's going to give you a little bit of stability so that you don't turn at the ankle. Bend at the left knee and open up the left hip up to the sky, towards the left side of your mat. It doesn't matter how far that knee goes up, but just open up towards the left side. Notice how your breathing is different here. We're just taking a gentle twist again. Inhale to straighten out that torso and drop the the left foot back down to the floor and come back to your tabletop and take any movement here that's going to make you feel better. Would a few cat-cows be nice here? Would a quick child's pose feel comfortable here? What is going to work best for you? Just take 1 or 2 breaths here and then come back into tabletop. If you're not there, come back into downward facing dog. And again, get a downward facing dog that's comfortable. You know what we're going to do. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky, and make sure that left heel is down. So reposition yourself if it's not. Bend at the right knee and open up the right hip towards the right side of your mat. You should get a nice sensation here on the right side of your body. Eventually we might make our way into a flip dog, but right now just opening up the hip. Notice your breathing. Notice if you're holding tension in your neck. Inhale to straighten out that torso. Drop the right foot back down to the floor. Take a breath here in down dog. Come forward to your tabletop. Inhale to your cow position. Exhale, cat. Twice more like that. Inhale, open up the front side of your body. Keep that neck nice and neutral. Exhale, arch your back. up towards the sky. Take one more on your breath. Inhaling to open up the front side of the body, opening up the collarbone, and exhaling to round the spine. Come to neutral and just take a quick child's pose, just so that you can release. It might take a little movement here to release the low back. Maybe stillness for you is going to work best. You decide what kind of a child's pose is going to feel good. Just for a breath or two. Inhale your torso up towards the sky. Come to your bum, swing your legs around, and we are going to find a straddle position. So legs will be in front, but you don't want them straight in front of your hips. Have them open. Now you might notice that your open might be literally on the edges of your mat, maybe not even further than that. If you can go a little wider, that's fine. If you can go super wide, go. But I do want you to be mindful of what your back and spine is doing to accomplish that. So have as open of a straddle as you can while you can still keep that neutral spine. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine here, and with your exhale, hinge at the hip forward. Keep that neutral spine. Now you might notice that you move very little, 1 or 2 millimeters. And then you get to a point that there's a resistance. Stay there for a breath or two. And then notice if your exhale allows you to go a little bit deeper into it. And that's how you're gently and slowly going to deepen your forward fold in this position. Now you might find that you don't find that resistance soon or very high. You might notice that your chest is practically on the floor here in front of you. That means you're pretty open in the hips, and I applaud you. Yay. But for those who cannot do that, gently ease into this forward fold, allowing the legs to relax. There's a tendency to force yourself in a forward fold, and then these legs tense up. See if you can relax the legs. There might be a slight bend at the knee to help you get a little bit deeper, but try not to have your knees bent where your feet are on the floor. You'd like to have the heels on the floor and hinging at the hip. So just take a few breaths here and notice where the tension starts to creep up. Is it in your quads? Is it in your back? Is it in your neck? Is it in your shoulders? See if you can exhale and release a little bit of that tension. One more full cycle in this shape. And then lift the torso. Draw the legs in. This is where you can bend at the knees and just give yourself a little wiggle jiggle. And then we're going to make our way into our 90-90. So I'm going to shift a little bit so that my front shin is parallel with the front of the mat. It's almost at a 90 degree with my thigh. And I'm just going to find a comfortable position for my back knee. Now, I know for me in this position that I'm going to want something here in front of me. So again, we're looking to open up the hip. This is an external rotation for your hip. So try to keep that knee down, and I'm going to just turn my torso slightly towards that left thigh. My inhale lengthens my spine, and with my exhale, I'm hinging forward. And again, I might use the same idea of finding my sticky spot and then taking a breath or two there, and then seeing if my exhales again will get me a little further. I'm going to go into my deepest space as comfortably as I can. You might notice that a prop here might help you out. Your spine here might be slightly curved. What's going to be the most comfortable for you? We're going to hold this for about 4 breaths. So, what is comfortable for your knee, your hip? Your knee should not be uncomfortable here. So get into the position that works best for you and breathe deeply into it. Finish your exhale, and with your inhale, lift the torso. Bring that back knee forward, and just take a moment or two here just to kind of release. And then we're going to switch around to the other side. So again, I'm working the front shin parallel with my mat. It's at about a 90 degree here with my thigh. Back knee, whatever's comfortable. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen the spine. I'm going to turn towards my front shin, and with my exhale, fold forward. And again, it might take you a few breaths to get to your end spot. And then again, use your prop if it's more comfortable for you. Maybe you need a prop and a hand or fist to prop up your head. What is going to make you comfortable here? So make sure that your back knee is also in a comfortable spot. If your back hip is uncomfortable, it's going to be very difficult for you to relax into your front hip. So both of them must be comfortable enough so that you can lean into this and get a nice stretch. Find what shape works best for you. And we're working our front hip more here. And then once you find your spot, deep breathe. Breathing into that front hip for 4 breaths. Finish your exhale, and with your inhale, that's where you lift your torso. Bring that back foot forward. Give yourself a little bit of movement again. And we're going back. So set yourself up for that 90-90 again. This time my left knee is forward. But we're not going to fold into this one. We're going to take our twist. So once you set up the modification that you want for your legs, take an inhale to lift the torso and exhale, twist to your left. Use your hands to help you and only go as far as comfortable for you. So you're going to notice that you have quite a bit of twisting and turning going on in your spine. So if you are upright into your hands, you're going to probably notice that you're exerting a little bit of energy, probably here in your left arm. A little bit of energy is fine. Try not to go so far that you're breaking a sweat because your left arm, shoulder is working so hard. So a gentle twist, gentle for you, might look a little different than what I am looking like. You might be even further into this twist and it might be super easy for you. Find what works best for you and breathe into it. 2 or 3 breaths here. Inhale to bring the gaze back forward, untwist towards the front of your mat, and then release again, bringing that back leg forward, taking a breath or 2 here before we set up for the other side. So again, now I'm going right leg forward. I'm setting myself up for comfortable hips, 90-90 in the legs. Take the inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to your right. And again, you might notice that your twist towards the right side of your mat is very small. You might notice that maybe this side you are able to get a little bit deeper. Maybe you can even look over that right shoulder towards the back of your mat. Are you doing it comfortably though? We're all different. We all have different levels of flexibility. And again, what we talked about at the beginning of practice, depending on how your body is on that particular day, your twist might be different. You might revisit this exact pose tomorrow and have a totally different look. Inhale to untwist out of that. Bring that back leg forward. And just give yourself a little bit of movement. Kind of relax here, be super lazy, just for a breath though. And then I'm coming back to my tabletop. I'm going to come to my tabletop. Find your hands. Open up the collarbone with the inhale, and with your exhale, up into your down dog. And in your down dog here, notice after you've lengthened your spine, can you get your heels just a little bit closer to the floor? Maybe you find that you can, maybe you can't. It's okay. It's all a process. Finish your exhale here, and then come to a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up to a standing position. Maybe open up that collarbone a little bit more and release. Give yourself a second or 2 to readjust. Maybe you want to find a different foot position. How do the hips feel? Find your mountain pose. With an inhale, left arm goes up towards the sky, and with an exhale, keep curving the torso to your right to get an opening on the left side of your body. So make sure that your feet are both still planted and you're just lengthening out the spine. Inhale to straighten out the torso. Exhale, left arm down by the side. Inhale, right arm reaches up towards the sky. And with your exhale, keep going to the left side. See curving your spine, opening up right side of your body. Make sure that you're not collapsing your torso forward. In fact, we want to open the torso. Inhale to straighten the spine. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Take a breath or two, and we are going to try a little bit of a balance. We're going to try at least one little version of our dancer's pose. So we're going to get into it really gently. Put the weight into your right leg and lift the left foot. You might be able to grab that ankle right from here. If not, you might have to bend a little bit more to grab a hold of that left foot, left ankle, left toes, whatever's comfortable for you, and then reestablish a long spine. So make sure that your right leg is strong and sturdy into the floor. This is where finding a spot on the floor for balance is going to help you. I need it. Now here, you might simply push your foot into your hand, drive the left knee down towards the floor, contain your ribs, and hold right here. This might be your version of dancer's pose. If you think you have a little bit more in you, exhale and hinge forward from the hip a little bit. So I'm driving my left knee back, tipping my shoulders forward, and I'm secure in the right leg. This is a lot for balance. You might even need that right hand for counterbalance. How far forward can you tip without falling? Is it 1 millimeter? Is it super deep? Did you already fall out? That's okay. If you did, come back to it. I'm going to hold it for 2 more breaths here. Am I going to fall? I don't know. Let's see. Straighten out your torso. Release that left foot back down to the floor. And then just give your legs a little bit of movement here. How did you do with that? Did you fall over? That's okay if you did. We're working our balance. And after you've released the legs a little bit, let's see what we have on the other side. So come back to your mountain pose, mountain legs, strong and sturdy. A little bit more weight into the left so that we can lift the right foot. And again, one day, we're going to be able just to flick that foot up into our hand. If you find that you need to readjust that left foot to get a little sturdier, that's okay. Readjust. Get a hold of that right foot, ankle. Oh, I fell over. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to start again. Establish in the left foot. Bring the right foot up. Do I need a counterbalance here? Maybe. Establish stability. I fell over again. Oh no. Get that left foot strong for you. Apparently my left leg today is not doing what I want it to do. So drive the right knee down first. Contain your ribs. Open up the collarbone and you might stay right here. Feel your left ankle mobilize you. And then if you think you can, hinge from the hip. Make sure the left leg can do this for you though. I fell over again. I'm just going to go back to holding my right foot. So giving you an example of how different left and right side can be. Take 2 more breaths here. Release the right foot down to the floor. Give your legs, give your hips a little wiggle jiggle. Come to mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms, extend the spine. Exhale, fold gently, releasing the head to the floor, towards the floor. Wow, if I could get the top of my head to the floor here, boy, would I ever be impressed. Nice, gentle forward fold, releasing anything here. Maybe a little movement is going to help you. Inhale, up to your flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor, and I'm going to come back down to my tabletop, and I'm going to take any movement here that's going to feel good. Maybe a couple of cat-cows, maybe simply wiggling your hips side to side, getting a little bit of motion in those hip creases. Whatever's going to work best for you. And then sit back onto your bum, bring the feet forward. And again, would a swaying of the knees be comfortable for you here? Maybe you notice that you really want to get into that sway and take your torso with you and rotate in the spine. Maybe that's going to make you feel better. Maybe you want to take a moment or two here in your diamond formation with your legs, and you might even want to use your hands here behind you to help straighten out your spine. Maybe that will make your hip feel a little better. You pick something that's going to release a little bit of tension for you for about 2 or 3 breaths here. And you might be already thinking, wow, my right side was better than the left side in my balancing. And it doesn't matter. That dancer's pose is pretty tricky. Falling out of that is pretty common. Eventually, we'll get stronger, we'll get sturdier, that we fall less. But maybe that's not today. And then wherever you are, release out of that and make your way down to your back. Now, before you get into your final resting space, make sure that your back is comfortable. If your low back is still holding a little bit of tension, you might notice that maybe you need to draw your knees into your chest. Maybe you want to extend the legs up towards the ceiling for a second or two. Maybe you want an extra sway, something to make sure that your spine is happy and released before you get into your resting pose. Maybe you don't need anything and you're ready to come into Shavasana right away. Pick which pose you want to finish your practice in. Settle in. And let your body absorb all of the movements that we just did. All of those little twists and turns and balancing. Allow your body to melt into whatever shape you have chosen. And see if you can let go of a little bit more tension. Wherever you might be still holding on to it, use your exhale and see if you can release just that little bit more. Start with being aware of your breath before your movement. Notice the inhale, notice the exhale. And then gently start to wake up the body with those small little movements. Whatever is going to feel good for you at this moment. Where do you need the movement? And then slowly and gently, if you are on your back, come up to a sit position and decide what leg position is going to be best suited for you to finish your practice in. Once you get to your sit, soften the shoulders. Choose your hand position. Take a nice big inhale. Release in your exhale. We'll finish our practice here, honoring the light within. Namaste. Thank you once again for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Please subscribe, like the video, and share the link. All of those things will help build the channel.